That's good. Old school. Oh, I need to add somebody else. Old school. So, very cool. Okay. Hey, there you go. Can you hear me?
Yep. Are you able to
Oh,
hear me?
actually, hold on. Let me turn this down some. Oh, there it is. Volume button there.
Let's see.
And let me turn my cam back on. Boom. All right.
Now wait a minute. Hold on. Wait.
I cannot hear you.
You can't.
Maybe.
Let's see.
Oh, your mic is on.
Test.
Oh,
Test.
wait. I have it muted. All right. Say something now.
Test.
Awesome. Yeah. How do I sound?
Sound perfect.
Great. And you hear the music as well?
No, I don't hear any music.
No music. Okay. Oh, it doesn't come through on here. Um, that's interesting. Let me see. How about now? Anything?
No.
No? Oh, okay. All right. Well, no problem. No problem. Like the link worked pretty well.
Yeah. Link worked perfect.
Okay. I'm gonna turn I'm gonna turn my music here really far down then.
Perfecto.
Awesome, awesome. So, welcome to the second annual stream. Second annual stream tonight. Kind of just flying by the wire here still until it really gets top 5 anime. Until it really gets streamlined, we get to streamline. So definitely any suggestions or any changes, throw them out there. I invited a few other guys. Two of them, I put you in the group chat too. Two of them said that they can't make it. One of them still might make it. I told him 7:00, so he said that should be fine. But we'll see. We'll see. Everybody has lives and doing different things. So everybody, welcome to our episode here talking about anime. Let's talk. Let's talk top 5 anime / manga or whatever. That was the subject came up with today. You got me. I am cartoons right now, and we also got. Want to introduce yourself?
Yep, YouTube channel Closeted Anime. I also go by Closeted Anime or Killer Frost. Either's fine.
Cool. All right, and what do you do over your channel again? Just keep everybody kind of in the mix.
Yeah, so I like to dabble in basically anything anime. I do read a good bit of manga, but I will say I skew heavily more towards anime. I read manga, manhwa, the Korean and the Chinese animation stuff. So yeah, I like it. I like it pretty much all.
Okay.
And my channel mostly highlights it seems to be picking up more with my shorts versus my long form content. So I'd say at the moment I'm mostly a shorts kind of channel that highlights a lot of the good fight scenes and a lot of probably hidden gems in anime too. So
All right. Cool. Perfect. All right. So I'm just kind of setting up your. I figure since I'm a drawing channel, I do animation and illustration. You can't even see it. Wow. Here we go. Nope, wrong one. We live stream. You gotta be careful with what you put up here now. What you showing people. All right. I'm gonna put this up, and while we're talking, I'll be changing different screens and stuff like that. But that's his link. That's his site right there. Closeted Anime, right? Yep. So if y'all want to check him out, go and check him out here and see what he's doing over there. But for now, we're here to talk about top 5 anime / manga right now. So I'm not going to steal the show just yet. I'm going to let you go ahead and tell me your top 5 so I can tell you you're wrong. And then, I'll tell you the correct answer after the fact. So I'll let you go ahead. Go ahead and explain your wrong answer of why, the top 5 that you have are the top 5 right now.
Like top 5 of all time, or what I'm like is currently sitting on my list, like my 2024 top 5 class, or are we talking like what?
I would say, what's your top 5 2024 right now? And I know that's kind of. I'm gonna say 2024 because you say like
combined 2024 and 2023. Then
okay, yeah, there you go.
Okay. In no particular order. I'm not trying to rank them right yet. It's definitely Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is definitely in there. So I got Demon Slayer on the scoreboard. I got Farron, Beyond Journey's End. Okay.
Farron, Beyond Journey's End.
Yes, man, you gotta see that. You gotta see it. If you don't know about it, now you gotta know.
All right.
My Hero Academia.
My Hero, it's in there. There it is.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Juju. Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, let's see. Let's see. Mm, who else? There's some good runner-ups. I'm trying to think what I'm watching currently. Uh, I'll round it out with I'll put Overlord on the board if I
Oh,
yeah, I'll put
okay.
Overlord on there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm not laughing at you or your choice. I'm just laughing. I just like to laugh. Ah,
Mhm. Mhm. And you know what? Because I was in a pinch trying to pick the fifth one, I'm gonna
uh,
tie it with Vinland Saga. Yeah.
Vinland Saga.
Overlord, yeah, or Vinland Saga. Yeah.
Okay. And these are all they're all shows, animes. Um, you said no particular order.
No, not in any particular order. No.
I'll tell you what. So, which one would you want to kind of discuss first? Would you say coming to your mind?
Well, the hottest one right now is Demon Slayer for sure.
All
Demon
right, so
Slayer,
Demon
yeah.
Slayer. Demon Slayer. I'll tell you what. So as you were saying, I was pulling it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap over to that screen. I don't know which one is which. Holy crap! I don't want to switch to something like my school stuff. That'd be weird. Um, Drawing screen, illustration. Is it this one? Geez. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. While I'm doing that, why Demon Slayer? Why is Demon Slayer in your top five? What makes it so good that it trumps all other, anime manga right now? I mean, you got One Piece, you got Naruto. What we were talking about before. Some of the
Mm,
big three are still hot, but you didn't
mhm.
say none of the big three on here on this top five.
No.
That's
Yeah,
curious. Demon
because
Slayer.
the big three is just like uh non-casual anime's first go-tos, you know? It's like
Uh,
one of those things where when you ask someone, when someone first finds out that you watch anime or you hear someone, watches anime and you say, "Well, what do you watch?" And the first things they, shout out is Dragon Ball Z or, Naruto, Bleach. It's like, I mean, I guess everybody watches that. It's
yeah.
your least your casual of the casual list anime watchers has watched Bleach, has
Mhm.
watched Naruto, has watched definitely Dragon Ball Z. If they have any kind of you know introduction to anime, that's definitely within their repertoire of anime to quote go or to cite actually.
Mhm.
um But as far as why Demon Slayer is in my grouping, the artwork, the art, the art and the music score is definitely that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And the music score, you
the
said.
music scoring, um, the artwork, just everything that they do when they're illustrating the characters. That it's just beautiful, man. There's no other way to explain how beautiful some of the fights are when you're watching them.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta say, Demon Slayer is one of those. I'm not. I mean, I finished the series. Was it earlier this year or late last year? I picked up
Mhm.
the whole volume set and I just read them all the way through from start to finish. And I gotta say, I was impressed with it. It's a short series,
Mhm.
300, somewhere around, not even 300 chapters, maybe. I mean, I can Google it, but it really captures your heart. The heart pulls on the heartstrings between the family and the sister, trying to save the sister and all that. I forget their names. The orange guy here, uh,
Zenitsu.
Zenitsu. He was kind of my favorite. I love his design. That is my favorite design. Because I love orange and yellow. So you make a color with orange and yellow, I'm gonna gravitate to it. Isuke, if I'm not mistaken, Isuke or I forget his name, the pig guy, pig mask guy.
Oh,
Um,
man, you gonna
something is close. It's close. I'm sure
Inosuke.
Inosuke. Um, he is probably my favorite character in the whole series. The way he acts, he's goofy, he's silly. He feels like the Vegeta. Obviously, if there is a Vegeta, he is the Vegeta of the group. Where I think he started kind of as an adversary, but then he's very aggressive. But then he comes on the good side, and he's just raw. Everything about him is
Less,
raw.
yeah, less Vegeta-esque, more kind of like I'd say like the male equivalent of like the dunce in
Mhm,
female in a lot
mhm.
of anime. You know how like there's that one female dunce, but like
Yeah.
he's that only like the male counterpart. He
Okay.
he's very hard-headed, very stubborn, pig-headed. That's a
Yeah.
great
Maybe that's
he's
where it came from. It's pig
the
headed,
a
right?
boar's head. He's perfect.
Yeah.
Headstrong, stubborn, and
Yeah, and you got this ragtag group. Um, they come together and they take out the bad guy at the end. Very straightforward series, great aesthetics, and then the manga. So I read the manga all the way through. I know the anime is not done yet, but
mm,
this is one of those series. Ah, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. The manga does not do it justice for the beauty of the action, the dynamics, and everything that you're saying. You have to watch the anime. You just have to watch the anime. The water flow, and what I love about like anime, they'll be like the Kamehameha, they have their own attacks. Well, they'd be like water style, technique
fit.
one,
Yeah,
technique
water style,
seven,
fifth form,
yeah, fifth
flowing.
form or whatever. And it's like, wait, how many forms does it have? It's like he's pulling out Super Saiyan. It's like 10th form. And it's like the ultimate form. It's like you have all forms available, and you're just pulling them out for whatever reason to make it fit the scenario you're fighting in right now. And the water flow, when they do it, he cuts and you see the water. I don't think is it really there? Or is it
Yeah,
like our
so
imagination?
that is something that I've seen that is still debated. And I'm not sure if there is a go-to answer exactly, but a lot of people are debating that it's just a depiction of like the style. It's not really happening.
Right.
But I'm in the camp that believes that they are actually, affecting the real world with those breathing styles that they use.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I want to pull it up for viewers to kind of see what we're talking about because as they're fighting and stuff, if it was a real life, of course you can't do these things, but the idea is like with anime, it's a fantasy, right? And they use their powers, and you want to articulate. Okay, let's get to the actual fighting. Here we go. It's like he's using his cuts, but it's like water is coming out and the dynamic flow and everything. There is no other anime like this. There is no other series that has done this. I mean, there's a lot of different ones that have the cool dynamic fighting and stuff, like Gurren Lagann, probably my favorite mech anime of all time.
Mhm.
Um, it's the closest thing I can describe to it, but this is swordplay of Gurren Lagann, style. So, um, that is the beauty of it. The story, everything like that. Um, is definitely going on one of the best series of all time. I give you that. I definitely give you that. I
Okay.
can't fight that one.
Okay.
So you will give you the claim on that one. Demon Slayer, Demon Slayer. Anything else you wanna throw up there before we move to the next one?
Yeah, I just like the amount of investment you're able to get with each character.
Mm-hmm.
I like that all of the characters have significance. They don't just throw in a character and they mean absolutely nothing to the story or nothing to the development.
Yeah.
So, if they're introducing a character, they're introducing them for a purpose. Uh,
Right.
so I do like that. They all play, you know, either they play a significant role in the story or a significant role to the development of the main character.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna bring this up, and then I want to hear your comments on this. and then I'm gonna I forgot to send like the link out to send it out to social media and stuff so people can see it. So I'm gonna bring this up and get your thoughts. So one of the things I really loved about this series, and I think One Piece kind of touches on it a little bit. Um, other fight battle manga and battle anime like Dragon Ball Z does a bad job at is power levels. I think this series does a great job in showcasing like you can have a character and it seems like they are weak or whatever. You don't know where they kind of stand. There's definitely like a hierarchy. Like this guy's number one, he's the strongest. This guy's number two or whatever. But when they all get in the fight, it's like everybody plays a part. Like you definitely have to increase your skill, increase your power and technique and stuff. But like it's almost like the weakest guy or just any other person in the ragtag new school can hang with the old school. And it took everybody at the end, without spoiling it, I know it's not over, you haven't seen the anime, but it took everybody to fight this one dude or these two guys. And it's like, yo, power levels mean nothing in a way. Like we need all hands on deck. You even if you brought just an inkling of strength, that is enough to get us over the top where we need to be. What do you think about that as far as the series and other series that do it better or don't do it as good?
Yeah, I like the fact that every of the like I said before, every character has some type of importance or significance. And to like what you were alluding, it took pretty much all of the Hashiras. They all played a key part in the final conflict. And they all had their roles to play. And it's just like, man, if one part of that major puzzle was missing, it all would have just fallen apart. I mean, it took everything from just the master and his family and how he had to choreograph that whole setup. And then even when the whole wrench was thrown into their original plan, how they still had to just recover and just use everything that was on hand. From the sabotage techniques to how to deal with yeah, I'm just trying not to spoil it, but yeah.
Well, I tell you what, that's a great point that you just said and try not to spoil. I think it is fair. This is a rule we're going to set. It is fair to spoil anything that is already live to the anime at the very least.
Okay.
Because that is the least current. The manga is done, so that's the most current. So the least current is the anime. Spoil up to that point as much as you want. Because if they ain't seen it by now, they ain't want to see it, So
well, that whole the Infinity Castle has not aired on the anime side yet. So that's if you've read all of the manga, the anime stops at Muzan coming and confronting their master, and then all of the Hashiras getting teleported into the Infinity Castle. And that's where it stops.
Yeah. Okay. And let me ask you this. We can talk about this one subject forever, really. But what is a criticism you have for the series? Because it's a great series, we love it. But is there anything you would change or you would like them to do differently if they redid it or anything?
Change it. I guess for my own selfish greed, I guess I would want more of it. But I'm content with how it ends and the way that it ends. It's just I don't even know if they were expecting the anime to like pick up so much, and now it's just like, what as a fan, what are you going to do after finishing the anime? I mean, you'll be happy, you'll be content, but it's just like, ooh, like should they have ended this now? Like, is it the end? And it's like, I mean, they do like that weird spin-off in the manga where like it's their reincarnated version. Have you seen that?
Okay. Yes and no. I'm gonna say yes and no.
Okay.
You said what happens in it? Let me go there. Let me
It's
say that.
basically like just them in the real world, like as students and
Student.
working. And it's like, I don't want to watch this.
Okay, so I will spoil this a little bit for them because it doesn't talk about the actual, not the actual fights of the series and or whatever at the ending. But once everything is done, they beat the last boss or whatever, Mugen, I think it was.
Hmm.
Um, at the end of the manga, it does do that. It shows you them in high school and stuff, like almost like it was a second series of the main characters. So when you said that, I was like, oh snap! They animated that.
No, no, no. They didn't animate that nonsense.
Oh yeah, yeah. So there is that is a thing. Apparently, it's like it's always something about even One Piece that did that a little bit, or other series. It's like, hey, what would it be like if they were in high school or middle school? Yeah, your favorite One Piece characters.
They did that weird thing with all of the isekai characters. They did that isekai quint quintuplet or something.
Uh huh.
Uh, what is that? I I tried watching it and it is just not my it's not my speed at all. It was isekai quartet. That's it.
Yeah.
Isekai quartet. And I think there was like crossovers between different isekai. Yeah, you had the slime lord from
Really.
got reincarnated as a slime. You got Overlord in there, him and Albedo. You got the that witch from uh dang, what's her name? Oh, oh my
Hmm.
goodness.
Okay.
The cautious hero, Rising of the Shield Hero, Overlord, ReZero, the Saga of Tanya the Evil. That's the witch.
Saga of Tanya the Evil. I ain't heard of
Yeah,
that before.
and basically it's just like a all of these isekai characters are interacting with each other in this series, and it was too silly for me.
Oh, Saga of Tanya the Evil. I
Yeah.
have seen that before. I saw like the
Hmm.
first episode or two. You know who would have been great to be on this talk? My friend Richard. Went to college with him, high school, not high school, but college and stuff like that afterwards. And I remember he watched a lot of these things. He probably knows more anime than I do in every respect. And he showed me this. It's like this guy, I guess, reincarnated as a girl, this little girl. He was like
Hmm.
a battle commander, and they have these powers and stuff. I was like, what the crap do you have me watching right now? What is this? But I guess it's got a following.
It does. It does. Yeah.
But nah, cool, cool. So I kind of agree with that. Like it should have been longer. If you want more, that's what I say about One Piece. The reason why One Piece is so long is by popular demand. If it wasn't as
Mm.
big, if it did not catch off as well as it did, I mean, it's 27 years next week.
Yes.
It probably would have been a short series like this, but I think that's what makes it so magical. Is that it's so short. Kind of like our other favorite series, like Cowboy Bebop and Yu Yu Hakusho
Mm.
and some other big greats back in the day. Um, okay, so
Gurren
36.
Lagann. Yeah, I know you mentioned that. Man, I was like, oh, why'd you end?
Gurren Lagann. I I've watched that probably, to be honest, like maybe like 5 times all the way through, start to finish. Every single time, I ain't afraid to say this. I'm a man. All right, I'm a man. I. But every time I watch it, it brings me to tears. It brings me to tears. Literally, I know what's gonna happen. Five
Yo,
times, but I watch
there's
it.
that's an anime.
Yeah,
For that reason, I just stay away from it. Like I understood what was going on, and then I still just walked into it, and
yeah,
I'm like, "Ooh, like that hurt."
yeah,
Like I feel it right here, and then I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm not watching this again."
yeah.
I'm not doing that to myself. See, you're a glutton for punishment.
I like punishment. Um,
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
yeah, that's because it's such a beautiful story. Like I love watching it and like almost researching. It's like, why do I like this so much? It's like
Mm-mm.
an underdog that has the Deus Ex Machina ability, but then it's like, oh, this is more complicated than that. And then the mechs are cool. The design is so cool, so dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Studio Trigger, by the way, best studio in the world. Um, Studio Ghibli and Studio Trigger are probably the best two studios of anime of all time. That's debatable, but uh, the art style and everything. Not to go down this rabbit hole of Gurren Lagann, but it's a magical series that that's one of my top five of all time easily. Um, but yeah, all right, Demon Slayer, good one, good one. All right, so what about your next one?
Mm.
We got Fair and Beyond Journeys,
Okay. Okay.
My Hero, Jujutsu, and
My
Overlord.
Hero. Let's roll into my because I think you've seen or have you seen My Hero?
So I have watched My Hero probably maybe the first season.
Okay. Okay.
I have read it up until I'm probably about 100 chapters behind. Um, but I am currently reading it right now.
Mm,
Nope.
okay.
So that's kind of my experience with it. I'm pretty well rounded with all the characters and everything that's happening. I think the anime is probably further along actually. Now that I think about it, than where I'm at. So you probably definitely have a better understanding. But yeah,
Okay. So uh I like My Hero Academia because well, the powers that they
Mhm.
give all of the characters or quirks as the powers are called in this anime series. These quirks, I like that they root them with limitations. Like they have limiters on these quirk abilities. And I like the fact that each of these quirks, kind of like in One Piece, they could be some of the most benign sounding, looking abilities, and you're like, What are you gonna do with that?" Like,
Mhm.
and all you can do is control, uh, materials from genes, and it's like,
Max, was it
then
Genus? It's like
yeah, best
Genus.
genus, and you're
Yeah,
like, "Well,
yeah.
hold on, this man, he's like one of the top rank heroes."
He's number three right now, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. And you're like, "Well, hold on," and then, like, there's a guy that's able to, like, uh, change his body into, like, the thinness of paper, and, uh, you're like, "Well, hold on, wait, why are
Yeah.
these characters so powerful?"
Hmm.
And it's just how they use them, or they have such mastery over those abilities
Hmm.
that they are able to, like, with precision, like, use them very effectively. So they're highly effective with using some of these very, like, sound insignificantly sounding powers to, like, massively uh control their enemies or to overpower their enemies. And I like the fact that there's some very highly overpowered sounding abilities that you find out that they come with very severe limitations.
Hmm.
Just like um the Byakugo,
Hmm.
the one in Hot and Cold, like they come with extreme limitation. Like Byakugo, he has to maintain his sweat. So
Hmm.
that's his sweat is like nitroglycerin, and that's what causes his explosions. So he's basically igniting his sweat and using it as a fuel source for his combustions. So the
Hmm.
explosions aren't what um he's able to produce without sweat. So yeah, that I thought that was a great kind of thing to input or as like his source of his power. His
Mhm.
fuel is to sweat.
Yeah.
Um, uh, so I like that because you just don't have like characters that are just crazily powerful without any type of limit limits to their ability, or you
Mm.
don't have a character that's like, oh, you just gave her the ability to levitate things, like that's whack. But then you start developing her character, and then she has to learn hand-to-hand combat. It's like, oh, I like this. I like the road you're going down. I like that you're fleshing out characters that are kind of like side characters, but they still play importance. You give them their little moment to shine. Okay, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. All those are definitely what makes the series pretty interesting to me as well. What about the story? What about the story and like things like that about the series as well? What do you think?
um, yes, I like the investment that the anime affords the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're growing with the characters, so you see them aging. I like
Mm,
that. They
that's a
don't
good point.
stay forever the same age. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so not only are they you're watching them develop from power scaling standpoint, you're seeing
Mm-hmm.
them develop mentally, you're seeing them develop relationships with other characters, you're seeing them develop um like to where you're like really invested in them. And so I like that. Like you're growing or you're watching them grow in real time. You're rooting for them. It's like, oh
Mm-hmm.
man, this character over here, he's got dad and family problems. Oh, this character over here, he's got problems with wanting to feel acknowledged. This
Mm,
character, he's wanting to be acknowledged as being the best, but he's always being overshadowed by someone. And he's wanting to be number one, but his rival over here is always seems like he's just one step ahead of him. It's like, oh yeah, okay, all right.
mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Anything else at the moment?
Um,
Okay.
I'm probably missing off of a couple of other reasons why
Okay.
I really like my hero. But
Yeah.
yeah, we can always if it comes to mind, I will circle back to it.
Yeah. So a little bit of my thoughts on My Hero. I'm definitely familiar with this one too. Man, how did I get introduced to it? I think it was years ago. I want to say around the time it first started. Um, I don't think I was there at the ground zero of its entry, but maybe like right after, maybe like the first couple of chapters or something. Definitely saw it grow to what it is now from beginning to end. Kept reading it. I think I fell off of the series around the time I stopped reading it week to week. Around the time that it got to the giant. This is in the anime as well as the manga, but the big giant battle between Shigaraki, I think his name is the
Mm-hmm.
main the K villain. Giant war. He got an upgrade, and a lot of people died, and they were trying to get Gigantomachia or whatever is that
Mm-hmm.
big giant dude. They're trying to get him down. They killed Deuce, I think his name was the duplication guy. From the bad guys
Mm-hmm.
team, Hawks killed him or something. It was like
Mm.
this giant. It was probably one of the coolest things before the time skip. That's when I kind of fell off of it, and then I came back into it just recently, reading it week to week for the most part. Um, I agree with everything you said. I think what drew me to the series was like, whoa, we've always grew up with a shonen manga that has powers and you can do cool things, Superman, Batman, all this kind of stuff. But they focus just on the powers, and and it's a school, so they teach you the powers and they fight with the powers, powers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and cool designs, and you got these three right here are probably the biggest main characters that we follow.
Mm-hmm.
As far as, and then their powers are so cool. And when you have a main character, their powers have got to be awesome. It's got to be badass. It's like, I want those powers. You don't give them powers. It's like he can turn invisible. Like that's not fun. Yeah, it's cool, but it's not fun. The main character's powers, he's kind of like your, what would you describe? Would you say Superman, or would you say Hulk, or how would you describe his powers?
Yeah. So, Izuku, or Midoriya. That's our main protagonist. That we follow. His main power, he actually inherits it from All Might,
Mm-hmm.
and so All Might, um, basically gives him his power, because Midoriya had no abilities at all, but he was
Mm-hmm.
a perfect candidate to inherit it because he didn't have any quirks. Um,
Right.
and so, yeah, essentially, his ability starts off with just having like an insanely amount of strength. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's like just so strong right out the gate. But the brilliant thing about it is that he's so strong that his body can't withstand 100% of the strength output. So the limitation to being able to tap into like being like a god throughout the entire anime series and just decimating everybody with no, you know, fight, or no need to have to go through any kind of tribulation at all, is that he doesn't have the strength or the fortitude to withstand wielding the power at 100%. I think
Mm-hmm.
starting off, he's only able to use like 1% of it, and to
Yeah.
like midway through the entire second season, I think he's at like 3%. So,
Yeah.
and you're like, man, he's at 3%.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is amazing. And then you have the other supporting protagonist, um Bakugo, who's to in the background of the picture that you have up right now to his right.
Yeah. Well,
uh
I can't get to it, but yeah.
yep, he needs to sweat. And so if he's not able to produce enough sweat, or if he runs out of sweat, he's hurting in a fight. And so that's a limiter.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other largely supportive character, um, Todoroki to the left, who has
Mm-hmm.
the ability to control fire and ice. But when we first meet him, he only uses his ice ability because he's
Mm-hmm.
wanting to shun using his fire ability due to daddy issues. And so we learn that his limiter is when he's using his ice abilities too much, he ends up getting frostbitten, or he freezes his
Mm-hmm.
own self.
Yeah.
And the only way that he can balance that out is with his hot nature using fire, but he's not he's adverse to wanting to use it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's
Yeah. I think now that you say that, I'm not sure. I can't think of all the powers and how they've been portrayed in the series, but it seems like what you're saying or you're describing is that the drawback to a lot of the powers is that it affects them as well. You use fire, it burns you. You use ice, it freezes you. You use strength. Well, not only the strength outward, but it's hurting you inward. Like, you need to have the body to handle that. You don't just get super strength with invulnerability with it too. It's like holding a giant 1,000-pound hammer. It's like, yeah, it's gonna hurt that guy, but it's gonna hurt you too.
mm,
If you can't hold it, it's gonna fall on you or something. Um, so that's a great way of portraying powers. That's something I really liked about the series. Um, definitely like I my favorite character is I'm not even. Is it Shido? Shido? The ice guy, the ice fire guy here on the left side.
Yeah, Todoroki or
Todoroki.
Shoto.
Shoto. I remember it was something like that. Yeah, they made it simplified or something. Um, Oops, I changed the what you call. Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? My hero. Oh, it's this one.
Hmm.
Um, they, yeah, it's he's definitely my favorite character because I love the how the stoicness of him. And how he was like I don't know. He's like serious. He's always serious. He's always like about his business. Um, Bakugo, probably my least favorite character. I can't stand him.
Really?
Can't stand him. Can't stand him. Just because, and that's probably the main thing about it, right? It's like you're not supposed to like him. Like he's supposed to be like rough around the edges,
Hmm.
explosive nature, explosive powers, or something. Um, but it's too much sometimes. It's like, and I think you come to find out later on that he actually does respect the main character. He actually looks for him when they team up and stuff like that. But I'm like, man, this is I get what they're doing, but it's not my speed. Like I'd rather watch something else, you know. Um, so kind of letting the cat out of the bag. I said earlier I fell off the series and I didn't like him. Even the main character, I don't like his face. I don't like him, man. He's too much of a bitc.
Woo!
You can finish the rest.
Woo!
I just
Woo!
and then if I'm gonna stay on this train, this negative train, something about the series that really made me fall off, and I felt it coming until I just fell off completely. I don't like the school setting about it as much as I thought I would. Because it's in school and they're learning their powers and everything. But after a couple of seasons, after a couple of like arcs and stuff, it seemed like, hey, we're gonna go on this trip and we're gonna be attacked. And we're gonna go on this field trip and be attacked. And we're gonna practice using our powers and be attacked. And it's like, I was like, I am not. I was like, can they just graduate and be heroes now? I just want to see them go all out, like figure it out and be cool, like be badass or something, you know. And that's where it is now in the series where I'm at.
You didn't want to respect the process, man.
I'm done with the process. I'm done with It's like, hey, we're in class 2B.
Yeah,
and we're
2B. Yeah.
And we're class 1A. And it's like, we're the other school. I'm like,
Yeah, I will say, okay, a lot of anime, which you would know being a manga reader, a lot of manga, like anime, they all share very similar themes, you know, and then sometimes they become so similar that they become like tropes, anime tropes, manga tropes, and that whole interclass rivalry where you got a character who doesn't get along with your main protagonist, but then they're introduced to another external protagonist, and so now the class unifies and becomes one to go against the opposing class, and then those two classes realize, wait, we need to work together because this outside school is a rival to us, so they're together. And then the schools are like, wait, hold on, we got something that's even bigger threat. It's these villains. So now they're all together. It's like, so okay,
yeah. It is a thing. I don't know. I guess it's maybe it's me because it's a popular series. It's a big series. It's probably the biggest. I'm not gonna say it's the biggest, but it's definitely. If there was a big three right now, I think it's probably definitely the big three of this generation of the last 10 years. But otherwise, I mean, I love the powers. I love some of the cool things they do. Like you said, they take the weakest power and they make it kind of strong. Max Genus, like you said earlier, he looks weird. He has a long neck and a coat. You can't see him. But when he was fighting in the war, it was like this dude was MVP. He could it's almost like vines or something with jeans, like strings, fabric. Like he can tie you up. He can use it in different ways. Thinking like
Mhm.
Doflamingo from all my One Piece guys. Think
Yep.
of Doflamingo from One Piece. It's like string. There's string fruit. That's stupid. No, it's like he can use string to use you as a puppet. He can cut you. He can wrap it so tightly it's like a wire and like a whip. He can grab onto clouds and like swing from clouds and stuff. He can make copies of himself by tightly winding the string like a puppet. So I think there's a lot of capabilities that Max Genius hasn't even pulled out yet that can be used and be very creative. Um, Same with our main character, Midoroki or something like that. Mito Rama. Um, the main character is like, even with him and All Might, they had it where not only am I super strong, but I can like, I think one of their things is like he names it after like states and stuff, like
Yeah.
Texas Bomber
Yeah.
or the Manhattan Mangler or something, and he can like punch the sky. I think there was a part in the anime or the manga where the clouds were coming in or something, and he like punched at the sky, and it was the force.
Detroit Smash.
Yeah, it was so strong that it cleared the clouds. I was like, dang, the force you would have to punch, like to he didn't even touch him, you know? Really, really, really cool way that they do the powers. One of my favorites was Overhaul. I love that he could like touch something and it would like break it apart to pieces, and then he could bring it back together in different forms and combine pieces together. Like,
Yeah.
dude, that is really effed up, man. Like, if you did that to a person,
Mm-hmm.
that is effed up.
Eraserhead, the teacher.
Oh, really great rendition of negation powers. It's like he has to keep his eyes open.
Yeah.
I think the whole fight they were trying to keep his eyes open and give him eye drops. And he's like,
Yep.
keep looking at him, just keep looking.
Just keep looking.
If you go in his vision, even about for a second, it can unnegate. It can bring the powers back. And then when he looks at you again, it's like catch you, peekaboo or something. But yeah, very, very good series. I think it's wrapping up here soon too. Right now it's like in the 400s. Is definitely not going to make it to the 500s. I think it's the author is bringing it to an end. This is actually the person's second series. Actually, there was another series they did beforehand. Very similar art style. I don't remember what their powers were, but it was like this guy was he was poor and he gained the power to do something. He went to go work in his castle. It was like futuristic dystopian kind of thing. And I think it was only like maybe 20 to 30 chapters or something. It wasn't very long. It ended and then they started My Hero after that. So
Okay.
but yeah, very, very cool series. The villains were interesting enough. I don't think it quite got Shigaraki, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
The decay powers. Definitely the most interesting villain in the whole series, and I think that's by design. I think they designed him to be more complicated than just I'm bad and evil, and that's why. No, he's evil because he's effed up. His family's effed up. His background's effed up because his powers caused. Once they manifested, it's like he killed his parents, he killed everybody, not understanding how his powers work. It's like
he even killed like the pet dog. Everybody was gone.
Yeah, it's such a gruesome power, and I think he has to put all 5 fingers on you, and then if he doesn't put that last finger on you, it's like the trigger. As soon as he does, it's like you're dead, But I think now with the upgrade, he doesn't have to directly touch you, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think now he just touches things adjacent to you, man. It's just
it decays across or something.
Yeah.
So very interesting. I respect it. I respect it a lot. Like I said, the only thing that kind of made me fall off was the story. Just the direction that it's gone. I think where it ended up more of a noir like vigilante. It's like we're out in the streets and we're Batman. It's like we're watching the villains, you know. We're just beating up bad guys. That's what we're doing. It's like, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, anything else before we move on?
No, that's good.
Still got 3 to go. I'll tell you what, we'll finish yours on this stream and I'll do mine on the next stream. And that way it'll give me some time and or whatever and see our format the way we're doing it. But all right, so what's your next one? We got Farron, Beyond the Journey's End, Jujutsu, and Overlord / Vinland Saga.
Jujutsu is pretty hot. Yeah.
Okay, good one. All right. So what makes you put this in your top 5 2024?
The fights. Man, the fights. Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, man, if you want to see some great hand-to-hand combat fighting and you're a action connoisseur, action anime lover, and you love to actually see characters in the fisticuffs and just going at it, just straight throwing hands, Jujutsu Kaisen. It's in there. It's in there.
Okay. All right. I mean, what else? What about the main character, the villains, or story?
So I do like I like the aspect of they're tapping into, you know, they're not using magic, they're using cursed energy. So that's another energy form. You know, usually it's always mana, or they're using, you know, ninja skills or swords play, or you know, they're using a readily known martial arts style, like, you know, Baki or Ashura. You know, like they're fighters. Like in real life, they're using fight style. And no, this is cursed energy. It's like, wait, hold on. Do I know anything about cursed energy? No, I can't think of too many anime that's using cursed energy. Maybe maybe Inuyasha? They dealt with, like, you know, evil spirits and using, you know, some form of mysticism as a power source. But yeah, I like the cursed energy. Certain characters, you know, not having cursed energy and still beasting on people is certain characters can't even see cursed spirits and are still, you know, just like standing toe to toe with their peers. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I gotta say, my experience with Jujutsu, I don't even remember how I even heard about it, to be honest. I think it was for sure, it was 2021. I was on orders. I was at my base for like 6 months, Seymour Johnson, and I was just in my room, and you know, I had my routine. I would go work out or something after work, and come home, eat food or whatever, and watch some anime. And at the time, I was trying out HBO Max. That's when it kind of hit, still kind of growing during that 2020, 2021 COVID, you know, era. And Jujutsu was there. It was on HBO Max. And it was like the hot thing. It was a new hot thing at the first season. So if they already had a season, that means it's already probably been out for a couple years or something like that. At least that first couple. And I watched it, and I gotta say, I'm trying not to be negative. I'm trying my best not to be negative. Good and bad. I'm gonna mix good and bad in there. It's definitely not a series that I would have gone like, oh snap, give me that. You know, like even My Hero had more charisma. That's what it is, charisma, charm. Like I look at My Hero and it's like I followed it for like 200, 300 chapters until I fell off. Because it had that charisma and that charm. Jujutsu, like it's so cool, but it's lacking the package, the presentation. For me, I think like the outfits. You know what I'm saying? Like look at the outfits. Like look at this. Look at this. What is he wearing? What is he wearing? What is that? Look at our boys right here. You know, doing the thing. Look at my boy. Look at him. He's doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? All this, all that. Wait, I'm trying to get there. Right there. Look at that. And then look at jiu-jitsu. You know, it's like they're just wearing black outfits. So being a visual person, you know, I'm looking like, this looks boring, man. Like,
I mean, it's a private school. You know what I'm saying? They got a uniform to wear.
It's a private school. Yeah. Save them. They need saving. But when you get into it, like you said, the cursed energy, one of the reasons why I still follow it, I'm not reading it right now, but one reason I kind of like, okay, I see the appeal. When I watched the first season, I was ready for the second season. Like I was like, okay, I'm digging this. They're collecting the fingers. I think the main character is possessed by this demon or something, and
it's one of the most powerful demons.
One of the most powerful, Sukuna, if I'm not mistaken.
Sukuna, yes, yeah.
And he has all these fingers.
You better put some respect on his name.
Yeah. But this is what I remember because I haven't read or anything in a while. I see updates that come through and some people review it, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. All right, whatever. So supposedly Sukuna has all these fingers out there, and they use the main character in order to fight some of these demons. Like he's one of the new ragtags, the girl on the left, him, and then the guy on the right are like the new students or whatever. And they go around and when they find these fingers, they have him to eat it. So he gets stronger, but it also makes Sukuna stronger. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's what I never understood. Is like, are y'all gonna be able to contain this? Because this you're feeding the beast. This is what he wants. And then he doesn't always cooperate, if I'm not mistaken. Sometimes he's like, no, I don't feel like fighting or whatever. But when he does, he's like the Super Saiyan. Like the guy goes into Super Saiyan mode, he's possessed, and he just wipes the floor of the enemy that they're fighting or something. So I'm like, that's interesting. You got a loose cannon / you know, it's like the trump card, but is it, you know, or is it your worst nightmare at the same time, you know? I remember the girl, I always thought she was interesting because she uses a hammer and a nail, like one of her powers, like she has it and she like hits the nail and it like hits the back. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's not a gun, but it's kind of like a makeshift gun in a way or something. And then the guy, he was kind of boring to me. Like, I think that's his personality type too. It's like he's kind of like
he's very dry. He's very dry. Very quiet spoken. I don't think he says too much unless he's actually interacting with the main protagonist, Itadori. Like if he's not, you know, directly interacting with him, he's even keel. He's very just, you know, Sasuke-esque.
Okay, I know who Sasuke is. I
was like, whoa.
I'm about to say, who? Yeah, I remember I saw like a couple episodes of Naruto. Sasuke was pretty like, leave me alone or something like that. Yeah. And I think so. A lot of the stuff that I remember, there was some enemies that were like super strong. So okay, let's go to the other. That kind of goes into the other thing. Gojo. I know who Gojo is.
Everybody knows who
Gojo is. Goes without saying, my favorite character from what I saw. He's kind of like the older brother, but like teacher. Anyway, I love the characters like this. It's like he's the Shanks to me of the series. It's like he is stupidly powerful, but he's happy-go-lucky about it. He's like, whatever. And then the one fight in the forest, if I'm not mistaken, it's like there was some demon. I don't think he needed to even go this hard, but he didn't need to go this hard, bro. But he took him to his like, so the powers, the way they work, they can fight with their regular powers. And then when they want to take it to level 2, they can go into their zone. They can create a zone that it's just you and the other person or whoever you're fighting, everybody else is blocked out, and it enhances
Expansion domain.
expanded domain,
Mm-hmm.
and it blocks everybody out and enhances your powers. So it's kind of like instead of your power being one thing, now it's like all over the place, and it is like the enemy has to figure out how to deal with it in this enhanced form, right?
Yeah, if you're able to trap someone within your domain, it's almost like your trump card, in a way. So your domain is like that's that one thing you pull out of the bag, and it's like, ooh, once I get you, if I can get you in this, it's like a 100% hit guaranteed, and you don't
Yeah.
want to get hit with that. And so, yeah, they'll do
Mhm.
their move, and if they can get them within, a certain requirements, if they can meet a certain prerequisites, and then they just, hey, I got you, expanded domain,
Got
boom.
got you. Yeah. I don't remember all the details, but I remember there was two things that happened. They were fighting out there in the forest or whatever. There was a couple of demons or something like that. And the first thing I remember was Gojo did his expanded domain on this one dude. I think that's the first time he took his shades off or whatever, his eye cover off. And you
Mhm.
see his eyes, and it's like emeralds and all this kind of stuff that you see here is blue. I mean, look at him, he's a pretty boy, right? But then he's kind of like, you want to know what my power is? And it's like, it's the infinite void. And it's like showing it. It's like what? If, is that right? Like it's void or like infinity or something like that?
Infinity. Yep.
It's like,
Infinity.
it's like
Yes.
what? And he was just like showing it to him, and he's like, holy crap, what did I get myself into in the expanded domain?
And in that one scene, he is so powerful. He actually allowed him and Yuji, he allowed them to get captured in the enemy's expanded domain just so that he can overwrite his domain with his domain.
That is stupid. That is stupidly powerful. I always thought that was like so cool. It's like he just super flexed on y'all, bro. Super flexed. And then the last thing I remember from that really showed his power was I think like the main character was there. And I think the enemy was running away or something. And Gojo was like, "Oh, everybody just move out of the way," or something like that. And then he shot this giant like orb of energy out, and it like completely scorched like this entire area. And I don't think he was even using all his power. He was like, "Hey,
Mm,
I got it. Just watch this, or just move out of the way, or something." And he
yeah.
shot it, and it was like, it's like just all the way down. I was like, "Whoa, he is really powerful." And I don't know why he's going so like. Why is he doing this? It's like this is like punching down right now. Why is he doing this right now? And so, what was that part about? Can you elaborate a little bit better than I did on that?
I'm trying to remember who he ended up destroying with that ability.
Yeah,
Man,
let me see if I can find
um,
it too.
yeah, I vaguely remember that, and because like he didn't want to get any of the students caught in the crossfire, and it was basically he just was like, "Hey, just move aside, I got it," and just like handled this one enemy that all of the students were all struggling with, and he just took him out just like with no effort.
Yeah, here's a scene. Here's the scene. So he took his eyes off, and it's like, which means priority should be. It's 1 minute long. Yeah, it was like brothers. It was like three brother demons or something. So
Phew.
I don't even remember that part at all.
Yeah, no, that wasn't the one.
Yeah, this is.
I think it was that plant. Yeah, the plant demon.
Yeah. He said, I guess I'll be a little tough. Application blue. Oh, so it's colors. I remember it was purple, so it's blue and red
Yeah,
put together.
when blue and purple is combined. Whoo. I
Yeah, it
mean,
was
when
like
blue
it
and red,
was very simple little move he did. And it was like
purple. Boom, there it is.
scorched the entire forest or
Boom.
something. And it was like, what? And he was like very close to
Boom.
killing the students. It was like, what is going on? Why would you do that? Why would you go so hard? You know? And then they look back and it's like, it's all gone. Yeah, even it made a crater too, all the way down. Yeah, so Gojo, you can see why he's probably the most beloved character. I don't know if the anime is caught up, but I've already been spoiled to some things with Gojo that comes up later on, which I won't get into now, but it definitely makes the series a little bit more interesting, considering some of the things that happens. I think it's still within the 300s, not maybe not even at 300 yet in the manga, but definitely interesting character, definitely interesting series. I can see why it is famous for what it is. Excuse me, but yeah, I'll probably catch up to it later. I'll watch it. I'll read it later on or something like that. It's on my list to get back to.
Okay. Okay.
All right. All right. So which one's your number 4? Farron.
Farron.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Farron.
Now, um, so Farron caught me off guard. Reason being is because I love a particular style of anime being um I like a lot of the action, I like a lot of the shonen, the isekai,
Mm,
just straight destruction, straight power levels, straight, just anything flashy, fighting. I like that. Theron doesn't so much have a lot of fighting as much as it has a lot of learning about the main protagonist Farron herself and seeing what happens when like in all basically even in like just random like lore in mystical lore, elves are always have like the gift of longevity of life and
mm,
having high um um acute um they're highly gifted towards magic. They have an affinity towards magic. They're gifted in magic and they're long lived.
mm-hmm,
But what happens after the elf like outlives its entire cast? I mean, its entire party that she's been traveling with.
hmm,
Like, what happens after that? Like, does she continue on or does she just fades into nothingness? And so you following this elf as she's watching her team members like age in a sense they're all getting old because they're humans or there's one that's a dwarf and he's probably the longest living of them, but the elves outlive dwarfs too. And so
mm,
she's meeting all of her former party members after they've um basically beat the big bad, they've slain and killed the demon lord.
mm-hmm,
But what is this highly honored hero to do after 60 years after her heyday? So you're
mm,
following her as she takes on an apprentice, and she's basically trying to teach this apprentice um how to be a mage.
mm-hmm,
But she doesn't just take on any apprentice, she takes on a human apprentice. So she's watching this little girl age and mature as a human, but she herself is learning to mature and seeing that although humans have a finite life, they make the most of it. And because humans aren't always the most powerful, they're not gifted as elves are gifted, but they're gifted in other abilities like the ability to be very um creative. They have to think always outside the box. Hey, I might not be as strong as you, but I know how to use the ability in a different way that you never thought to use it. So now, I can push you almost to defeat based on just how well I've been able to use my ability. You're
mm-hmm,
stronger than me, but I'm having to use and I'm having to do things to outwit you.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's seeing that. She's seeing her apprentice grow in ways that she never thought. Like, wait, humans are they're very strong, but they're strong in a unique way. They're having to think outside the box. They're very clever. They're very, um ingenuitive. They have to because they only have so much time on this world. And so
Mm-hmm.
like you're learning more about like elf lore in a sense because elves are very slow. They don't need to rush to do anything. If you can essentially live for thousands of years, why would you be in a rush to learn anything? I'll learn it in another 200 years. That's what they
Ooh.
kind of have that kind of air to them. Like, uh,
Oh.
maybe I'll see you in 200 years.
Ooh.
And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to be here in 200 years. Like, you
Yeah.
know, they can get imprisoned for 100 years. Like, there's a particular scene where she's in prison and they give her a sentence, and she's like, "Oh well, that's fine. I can do that in a blink of an eye." But to but
Yeah.
to humans, you're like, "Whoa, hold on, 75 years? Like that's our life. We could never do that."
Yeah. That's that's a very interesting concept. I never would have really thought about before because it's so sad. Because we think of our lives in a very small, finite amount of time, but for them, if it's like almost an infinite in a way, and how it feels for her, that's a really cool highlight you just did there. It's like the sentence is like life for most people. For her, it's like she just took a nap,
Yeah,
woke up. All right, I'm free now.
I'm free now.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Jeez, man, that is um almost has like a slice of life kind of feel to it. It looks like a slice of life kind of series. There's even the style very very solemn, very sweet, very soft kind of feel to it. But I don't know. I what are you watching it on?
I have to
Crunchyroll?
sidebar you. Okay, well, actually, I don't have to sidebar. I watch it on Crunchyroll, but
Ah, okay.
I I watch a lot of them on another website.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I understand that website or others very well. Um, okay. Um, oh, this is the manga here, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the manga. So I know you. That's your speed right there. You're
Yeah, well,
into.
let me go ahead and check out and see what it, um because I got my manga list up, you know what I'm saying? That's why I read, I stay on that. It's just so easy. Look, I ain't getting into it right now. I'll save that for my stream on next.
Okay, okay.
Speaking of which, while I'm looking this up, we got to figure out a way. I downloaded the stream for the last one. I'm recording this one, but I made it accessible for you to be able to have it and stream it on your side too. Is that what you're doing right now?
I'm just recording it. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. I just want to make sure you got access to it, to everything. Okay, so I just added it to my lineup here. Oh, even the arts. Oh, I'm skipping ahead. I'm skipping ahead. I can see somebody's old. Somebody's really old. That I probably shouldn't see that. Um, I'm trying to look at the art style. It's very detailed. It's very realistic. It's not your normal shonen style.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And it's very emotion um eliciting. Very because oh man, you're a glutton for emotional punishment. This is going to
yeah.
do that to you. This is going to do because yeah, I don't want to
Okay.
do it too much, giving too much information. But you start realizing like there's a lot that she is aloof to.
Hmm.
She's just kind of unaware of because you real like she's an adult, like she's an old woman compared to all of her party members.
Mhm.
And I mean, just based around in human age, she's very old already when she
Right.
even comes in contact with her party members. And so um you would think like she's mature in the sense of like her age, but to elves, she's immature. And I guess amongst elves, she's still considered like, an adolescent. She's growing still. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, and you realize like, ooh, she's not catching what this character is putting down right
Hmm.
now. And then when you're starting to realize like she's starting to recognize things, she's starting to recognize um the fragility of life, how fragile life can be, because for them, as long as they're not killed, the- I'm I'm alive for thousands of years. Like, the- what's the need to, for love? What's the need of, rushing to learn something or having an actual desire? Dreams? What are dreams? Mm.
Yeah. Interesting. You kind of, you know, I'll say this. I have no, I mean, you're explaining it all to me. I have no um experience with this series at all whatsoever, but I gotta say, you're selling me on this big time. Just the aspect of her sounds like it's a character driven kind of story, you know, very much like you follow these characters and you fall in love with them, and that's what's gonna keep you going throughout. And I'm interested to see kind of what it's about. How many episodes is it right now, or is it done?
A
Or
full season is complete. Now the manga is still ongoing.
okay,
But you can, I don't know which order you'd like to go in, but you can just binge watch the anime and then jump into the manga where it leaves off, or you want to
yeah,
just start from the beginning in the manga, however you do it. But
okay,
yeah.
yeah. I've done that. So I started with One Piece, and other ones is like, oh, let me get into the anime, and then it ends, and it's like, oh, it has more than you know. Um, so if I start in the manga, I'm not gonna go to the anime. That's I've watched a few like that, and actually, there's one on my list right now for my top five. I'll bring up in the next stream. It has a new anime of it right now,
Hmm.
and it just started like maybe a couple months ago. So it's probably I think season one just ended, and I watched maybe one or two episodes, and it's good. It's really really good. I'm like I can't make time to be interested in it because I'm reading it and I'm loving the reading. So I better watch this first and then get into the manga. Okay, yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested. All right.
I'm
Um,
glad I could sell you on it. Good, good,
yeah,
good.
yeah. You're not so wrong after all. So
Okay,
far, so far.
okay,
So,
good.
which one are you gonna definitive keep as your fifth?
Let's see, let's
The
see.
Overlord and Vinland.
Okay, because I remember our conversation, yeah, last week.
Uh,
You're not a fan of Overlord, so I'm like, oh goodness,
well, I'll tell you. I'll give you this before you continue on that comment. I am more of a fan of Overlord than I am Vinland Saga. So,
really,
so
really,
I will say that much.
you didn't like
So,
Vinland Saga?
I'm speaking out of ignorance as well.
Okay,
Um,
all right.
I have not watched Vinland Saga, but that's because almost like your boy Jujutsu, your boy, your other boy, Vinland is not selling me on the charismatics here, bro. I am not feeling this. There's nothing here that has made me say, "Oh, I got to get into that." You know, it's like I've seen it and I've heard people talking about it, Vinland, and I've seen the new episodes coming up, new seasons and stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. I don't care if it's not. Let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this, and depending on your answer, is gonna either move my needle or is gonna break off completely. All
Okay,
right.
all right.
Is there any kind of like supernatural power affecting in the series? Kind of like a if it's not like like Dragon Ball Z or One Piece, or is it more grounded like a jujitsu, or like is there something where it's like they're fighting and it goes like almost power, energy, supernatural to it, or is it all just straight like realistic Viking fighting stuff?
It's all grounded in realism. It's all
Ah,
grounded in realism.
it's
There's
broken.
there's no mysticism, there's no mana, there's no fantasy. It's all realism grounded.
It's broken. You broke the needle, my friend. It's gone. That's the only saving grace I was holding out. I was like, maybe I might watch it if it has some kind of, if I see some kind of clip on Reddit where somebody's doing some crazy cool flip and it's like power slash. And
You know what though? I'm just racking my brain trying to think if there's anything like this right now, and I can't think of it. But this would have been great if they started introducing like Celt mysticism into it. Like you start learning about Celtic lore, and like some Celtic deity comes and like grants them like a limited ability or power. Like, oh man, they that's a missed opportunity right there. I feel you on that. If they,
yeah,
like they start going into like Celtic lore, and you start learning about different deities, and there's a certain deity that has a favor towards our main protagonist, and it's kind of like just ever so gently nudging him along, or like he's in a pinch, and like this Celtic deity just kind of like moves something to be closer to him so that he can grab,
yeah,
and gives him just an extra little so that he can beat something, and then uses it, and it's just,
yeah,
and you find out like there's higher beings that are just like at play using them.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, and that's something. So in respects to that, when you think about Greek mythology and you think about Perseus, as you were describing that, I was thinking Perseus, because that's the
Hmm.
exact example you're talking about when it comes to a mortal man. You would think, being the demigod son of Zeus, he would be like Hercules or something, somebody else that has a power or something they can attribute to their greatness. But no, Perseus was a regular boy, probably peak human athletic or whatever, something like that, right? But
Hmm.
it was
Yep.
his drive and personality and his honor and all those things that Zeus and other gods obviously helping him out. And they, like you said, they nudged. It's like, hey, here's this thing, here's this sword. Hey, here's it. And then I think when he was fighting Medusa, I'm thinking of the movie now. I know the movie's not the same as the actual story and it changes wherever, but in the
Yeah.
movie, the old 1960 something movie, Perseus is fighting against Medusa and he can't beat her. And then I think it was Zeus. He was like, use the shield, the reflection. It's like he whispered to him, and then he was like, the shield, I can use it. And he sees her, and then he lops her head off. He still did the work, but it was just a little bit of divine
Yeah.
intervention that kind of got him there. And then even I would have even given it to you, Freddie, if you would have said it was like Berserk and is very grounded. Everything is Guts is a human man. There's nothing supernatural about him, but he gets it done. He kills. It's like that. It's the underdog story. That's what we come here
But
for.
I don't know if you can say that so much now. Like
Hmm.
starting off, Guts
Oh,
is,
oh.
yeah, and
You're
now
talking
he's
about the
got that
armor,
the armor.
the
Yep.
armor, the
Yeah.
blood, the wolf coat armor or something like that.
Yeah.
But it still is his body. He still has like my hero is crushing his body underneath. Like he is the skeleton for this suit of armor to do all these miraculous things. But it's like if he took it off, he would probably just fall apart or something. Like I think he still is getting hurt. He's still bruised and he's still in pain and stuff. If I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I picked it up.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But man, if it's just like people talking and stuff, if Vinland's Vinland is just people talking, bro. I'm good. I'm
Now I
good.
will say the second season I have not gotten into,
Yeah.
because I feel like they changed the speed up so drastically
Mm.
that I was used to him having this hatred towards this one particular character, and the way that they ended it, I was just like, that was his whole motivation. That was that was everything. That was the entire show was based around him exacting vengeance or exacting revenge for a particular thing that happened. And for just it to be like taken away in the way it was taken away from him, it was just like, oh my goodness.
Mm.
And then the second season just starts off like straight out of the gate,
Mhm.
completely different. There's a huge time skip that they just don't explain. It's
Mm.
just boom, here we are in the future, deal with it. And
Mm.
I'm like, well,
Interesting.
but yeah, so I was kind of in a pinch trying to figure out like, okay, well, I might do some Vinland Saga then, but
Yeah.
Overlord, uh yeah, Overlord, Vinland Saga, yeah.
Well,
uh,
I tell you what, since we talked about Overlord extensively last week, I think um, I'm curious a little bit more to kind of wrap things up. We're coming at 140 here soon. Like I said, I'll do mine on the second stream. I'll do a part two for the manga section. But anything else really that you want to kind of maybe speak on, Vinland? What made it good that you wanted to watch it and you stuck with it for the first season? And you're talking about the guys, you're talking about the time skip, the motivation and stuff. Like what makes this series interesting?
well, first season definitely I like that you you're stuck to this character as he's trying to exact revenge, and he's stuck in a situation where the person he wants to kill is the person that he has to like essentially like live with. He's in a somewhat of a forced adventure with the guy he wants to kill. Um and you're having to watch as he constantly tries to get stronger, as he constantly learns to get quicker or get faster or be smarter with his movements, um to ideally um like kill the guy that's training him.
Mm.
And so he's going through like these massive adventures. He's fighting side by side with the guy. He's like learning how to plan certain confrontations from the guy that he wants to kill. And
Is this the guy here?
no, it's
Oh,
not the guy. It's a blonde haired guy. I want to say his name is Asland. Asland.
is he
Uh,
in this lineup? Possibly.
he is. In fact, he's probably he's to the side of your head, actually.
This guy right here. Oh, can't see my
Nope. If you minimize that screen back,
oh. Oh, oh. What is he
nope,
in this?
that's second season.
Oh,
The one that's wearing that crown.
right here. Oh, you can't see my cursor. Oh, in the orange. So the main character's in the middle.
The main character is the boy with the two daggers, the one that's right above your head, and he has a dagger in his mouth, and he's holding a dagger in his hand.
Okay,
And
that's the main character.
yep, that's your main protagonist there.
Okay,
Um, Thorson, that's his name. And then
Thor son. Seriously?
yes, because he's the son of Thor.
Hmm.
Thor,
Interesting.
Thorfinn, or Thorfinn, actually, Thorfinn, Thorfinn or Thorson.
Oh, Thorfinn. There it is.
Yeah, yep, that's him.
And his enemy person.
Is Arslan, I believe.
Arslan. Is it this Escalade? Who's is that
Askelin.
Escalade?
That's him.
This guy.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Askelon.
I see a face like that. Yeah, he's definitely the bad guy.
But they do something different, man. They do something different. Because you start
Interesting.
wondering, like, really, how bad is he? Like, he does do something that you're wanting him to die originally, but then you're just like, huh, like
Hmm.
how bad is he? And I don't know. It gets tricky. It gets tricky.
It gets tricky.
It gets a little tricky. Yeah, because he starts to care for the kid, even though and he also knows like that's Thorfinn's main motivation. He knows that this kid wants to get strong enough to challenge him. He
Mm-hmm.
knows that every time he's teaching him something, every time he's, correcting him,
Mm-hmm.
he gives like the kid like uh goals where he's like, "Hey, look, if you complete this challenge, if you go out there and defeat this person, if you go and retrieve this thing, I'll duel you again."
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that Thorfinn is like, "Cool, because I'm going to kill you next time. So I'm gonna go and beat this guy, and when I beat him, you're going to accept my challenge, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to kill you this time." And then they go through this thing, and then he's like, "You still can't beat me, child. Like
Huh.
stay in the child's place. You got more to learn." And like he continues on, like that's like their kind of back and forth theme is Thorfinn wants to continue to grow and get stronger so that he can ultimately kill him.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. Well, it's sounding a little more interesting now. Um, if I get through some anime and it's like I need something to just kind of sit and watch to kind of kill time, this is one of those I probably would throw on just to kind of see. And I can see myself getting into it. Like, okay, I got to see what's the next episode. Just turn it on or whatever. But it's like one of those I wouldn't put over some of my other ones if there's an episode available, like a new episode available. Um, but okay, all right. If it's if it's a runner up to number 5, then I'll respect that from your list for sure. Because you could have said a lot of other series, excuse me, but you went with this one, so all respects, all respects. All right. Well, cool. This was a really good stream. I kind of like the. I feel like there's so much more we could talk about and go into, but is there anything else that you want to kind of wrap it up with? Any final thoughts on your list?
Oh no, like you said, man, there's plenty. Like I would have to like pull up a list and like actually like source through them and be like, ooh, because I know I'm missing a ton. And that's
Yeah.
usually how a lot of anime is. And manga is that you'll hear something and you're like, now I know I watch a lot of anime or I know I read a lot of manga, but I didn't hear about this one. And
Yeah.
or you're like, man, I haven't read that one. And so I that's an interesting part of the experience
Mm-hmm.
is you're thinking like, man, I'm killing these. Like right now, as we were talking about manga, I went and pulled up my manga list, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, there's just so many that I could have like that I know have anime adaptations, and I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I ain't talking about that one or that one or that one, and then I'm looking at so many that don't have anime adaptations, and I'm like, ooh, like, have you even read that? Have you read that? Oh, I bet you don't know about this one. You don't know about that one.
Mm-hmm.
What you know about Overgeared? You don't know nothing about Overgeared.
Okay. Okay. Well, nah, cool. So like I said, next stream, um, I kind of like this. I like doing this on a Friday. If we need to move to I think Saturday was our original plan, which I can still do. Honestly, I could do this tomorrow if you want. We could pull it up and hit the stream for probably even longer than 2 hours tomorrow if you want. But well, let's try to keep it at 2 hours for at the most at the beginning. If we want to do more, we can. But I have my list for my mangas, which probably most, if not all of them, do have an anime adaptation to them, if I'm not mistaken. But and I can give you also, actually, you know what? Real quick, if you want to give me like your maybe like an honorable mention of your 5 manga that you have on your list, yeah, that'd be cool. And then on my stream, I'll do a deep dive into my 5 manga, and I'll give you a 5 anime honorable mention.
Okay, let's do some just a list when I deep delving into it. Overgeared.
Okay, let me pull that up I'll let you continue. You said Overgear manga. Overgeared. Like okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Skeleton soldier couldn't protect the dungeon.
Skeleton soldier couldn't protect the dungeon.
Let's see. I'm gonna stay away from the anime adaptation ones because the Rising of the Shield Hero and Slime.
Yeah.
Those would have been on there. So let's see. That's 2.
Those are 2 good ones. So I guess there's one more.
Let's see. It would have been Berserk. Let's see. Oh, Solo Leveling too, but that's got an anime adaptation as well.
Yeah. I think that these are manhwas, right?
And Korean. Yeah, those are Korean. Yeah.
What was the one you just said? I'm sorry. Solo Leveling.
Yeah.
I am not to deep dive, but I will say this: I am very, very curious of this one. I haven't jumped into it yet, but I think I actually added it to my list already to eventually kind of look into it at the very least. So, okay, very interesting. All right, cool. So, all right, Freddie, or should I say Closet Anime? I appreciate you joining me here. And like I said, if you want to jump on tomorrow, I'm free all day tomorrow. Maybe we could. Is there a time in particular you want to shoot for, or just kind of hit you up and see what's going on?
Yeah, that'll work for me.
Okay. All right. So I'll do that. And like I said, I'll bring my list. I got my top 5 mangas. And I'll give you my honorable mention of my 5 anime. And we can do a deep dive into all that, man. So, cool. Well, I appreciate you showing up. Everybody else, thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing us some love. You can go check out Freddie at Closet Anime over his channel there and see what he does. And you can check me out Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. I do my live stream just like this. Same setup. You can see me doing my animation for my cartoons. I currently have Philandroids episode 2 in works. And I also have Econ. That's my client project. It's his music video, amongst other things. I do so much stuff. So busy. But Freddie, is there anything you're working on right now? Any projects or anything you want to shout out?
No, not really. I tried my hand at there's why did I miss this? There is a manhwa that I'm also reading currently, and I was started reading it, liking it, and I'm like, can I read it and see if people take interest in watching me animate it as I'm reading it? So I tried doing that. It's like got 16 views, and I'm like, I spent so much time. Spent so much time doing it.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm not sure how much I'm wanting. I may do one or two more, but
Yeah.
it's called Demonic Evolution. Um, and uh, I currently have just the first chapter
Ooh.
read and animated. Well, read and I'm kind of like the story paneling is moving. I got sound effects. I got music playing.
Okay.
Um, I'm trying to make it lively and put, background music to it, sound effects. If someone's getting hit, you hear the sound effects of the hit.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Okay.
Punches, action, give it like when it's in, add the theatrics to it
Yeah.
as I'm reading the manhwa. Uh, but yeah, I would be very interested, especially if I could get like real good voice actors. But right now, it's only worth me doing it
Mm-hmm.
myself at the moment. Like, but where I want it to go, if a lot of people took interest in it, yeah, man, this would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I might have to pick your brain about that and see how you do, and maybe you can give me some pointers on on how you come out with that and what you all your lessons learned or something like that. Maybe I can try something like that myself. Um, Eventually later on. I still got a lot to do. But okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, appreciate it, man. Like I said, tomorrow I'll hit you up, and then maybe we can do that part two.
All right, sounds
All
good.
right, have a good night.
You too.